I clicked the record button.
Yep, I clicked mine.
All right.
All right.
This is some good stuff. All right. Um, Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming into the first episode of Infinitude. I am your host, Kingsley Rock, and this is my co-host.
Yo, it's good. I'm Nick.
What was the topic? Oh yeah, the economic state of the United States. Yeah. 'Cause
Yippee.
everybody loves that.
Oh,
Everybody loves that.
I'm so excited.
Oh, I can't wait to talk about it. It's totally not depressing. It's totally in an amazing state right now.
Dude, I got my party hat right now. I got my little funny thing that goes nerd. Like,
What? What?
like, you know the thing that you blow on that does the funny noise?
Pause.
Yo,
Pause.
okay, anyway. On to the,
Kazoo?
yeah, like the funny thing. Yeah, let's go with that.
Got you.
Anyway.
You know what I got? I got my sister's strawberry milk from Nesquik.
Oh, hell yeah. All right, now
It tastes like diabetes, Loki.
what do we got up first?
All right. What points should I bring in? I guess I'll talk about what I've been kind of talking about with a lot of people recently, and like why my dream is kind of to move to Osaka, Japan. Because let me check that the average cost of living in Osaka, because it's like a lot nicer than it is here.
Well-
So yeah, okay. So a family of four estimated monthly costs are 400,000 yen, aka around 3,000 USD.
Oh, that's really good.
That's fucking. That's not even like crazy good though. That's good for to us because of what we're used to, right?
Yeah.
And then let's see the cost of living in we're gonna go our home state, Washington State, right?
Oh,
Want
buddy.
to take a look at this?
It's like a mill. It's like a millie.
Okay, we're gonna take a look at this. So just a 2-bedroom unit in Washington costs 1,700 per month.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just the home. Which, by the way, can I mention to you that based off of what the United States, like the average price for housing, we're basically that times a 1.72. So
Jesus.
we're way more expensive than the national average. We have no reason to be like this, and
Washington,
it's
baby.
just a freaking nightmare. And this is exactly why I definitely can wait to be an adult. I can wait because I'm not excited, honestly. But definitely a plan, like move to Japan or somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah.
Japan's really beautiful, and like it seems to be a lot cheaper.
Yeah. I want to like move to either like Canada. Canada's my big one right now. But I am like willing to move to like other places, like you said, Japan or somewhere in Asia. And somewhere just somewhere that isn't the US, because our economic state right now, we're just done for in the coming
Yeah,
years.
anywhere except the U.S. chat.
Yeah, like honestly, I'd prefer getting like robbed by the cartel in Mexico than having to be robbed by my own like government. So
Yeah. I mean, Latin America, most of it is like also really, really shit, but obviously really, really cheap to live in. I remember visiting Costa Rica. It was like
the
crazy.
fuck is the government? Yeah.
I remember in Costa Rica is crazy. Like I saw lots of areas that those are just regular apartments down there that like in America you look at and you would consider slums, but it's also not that bad because it's like they're used to that, right? Like that's their kind of life, you know.
Yeah.
You can't really judge them, and it's like a whole community in there, dude. Everybody in Costa Rica is so nice. Mexico gotta learn a little something. Nobody sold drugs to my parents at all in Costa Rica. We were there for a whole week, dude.
Really?
You go to Mexico for an hour, you already have like 20 drug dealers at your doorstep.
Yeah. Like in Mexico, like at least the place I went to, it was a bit nicer because it was like a more popular spot. It was like one of those hidden gems, but I know in a lot of places there's like cartels and stuff like that. Like when I was walking down a boardwalk, there was just people in like straight up military gear with like assault rifles just walking past, you know, having a casual Sunday.
Oh yeah. It was like I saw that a couple times too. They just have that for defense. So there's like a couple military checkpoints in Costa Rica.
Yeah.
Those are like chill. Bro, I really love Costa Rica. I love Latin culture in general. I
Mhm.
love culture in general, dude. I mean, that's why I have an Asian girlfriend.
Okay, pal.
She just doesn't know she's my girlfriend yet. Uh,
All right, chat.
the Vietnamese culture is beautiful. The Cambodian culture is beautiful, even though they be getting in like hella wars and shit. Japanese culture beautiful. Chinese culture beautiful. All these Asian cultures, man. Like I love them all, honestly. And I
Yeah.
like a lot of Latin culture too. I don't know why that is, but I don't know. I guess it's also I've been really interested in culture recently because I kind of grew up without having any culture to really celebrate, dude. I
Yeah.
grew up with my mom's mixed, black and white, and my daddy's just straight white, but has no culture from it. Like we're French. We like my great grandfather I think was the one that immigrated here from France to Canada. Um,
Mm.
it's just oh fuck, it's mind boggling how kind of close that is, but it's just like sad because I have no culture to celebrate, and then I feel kind of lonely on that. I don't know.
Yeah. Like when I took an ancestry, like it was, I just had like I was from a bunch of places, like mostly like Scotland, Ireland. Like I had some blood from there, so I was like, hey, I want to explore more in this culture, which is why at some point I want to visit there for like a couple months. Really get to experience the people, and I also like possibly want to learn a bit of the language and just stuff like that. And it like really sucked that like I had, like you said, no culture to really celebrate, which is why I kind of like am more like open to learning cultures and stuff like that, because then like it gives me more days to celebrate, and it gives me like more time to actually like experience these people's like just
Hmm.
casual way of life.
Yeah, it's definitely fun to like dive into all the different cultures and like really look at what's out there and just be celebratory, be happy for everyone. Man, I think if anybody watching this, what you should take away from this, don't for one, don't be mean to anybody based off of something, especially something they can control. Um, because like we're all our own people and we all go through our own shit, man. And like I really do see some shit like people be mean for no reason whatsoever, and I just don't get it. We do really live in a society.
Okay,
It's,
okay, Joker, we get it, man. But like the one thing I be seeing a lot is the classic white people have no culture. And there's a lot of like there's a lot
yeah.
of points I can make to like completely like shoot down these opinions. It's just because like you can say the same thing about a lot of different cultures just because it's different than yours. Like our dynamic is so much different than the others that it's like people just say we have no culture. And it's like, I'm sorry, I don't follow your exact same rules and I have your exact same days that like I celebrate. But like, and I think the main reason is that a lot of white people come from like different places, so we don't collectively celebrate the same thing. Like especially people in America, we came from Europe, so we came from all over the place. So it's kind of hard to agree on a certain thing to celebrate or a certain day to celebrate, which is why we're all constantly looking for something. That's why we're all so like open to celebrating cultures and stuff like that. Because it's like, well, give us something to really be excited about. Give us something to really like celebrate. Like we have our own things, but that dynamic factor of being like mostly from Europe, or if not all from Europe, that really integrates the factor of like having less culture than other people.
Yeah, can I bring more on like the culture fact, expanding more on this idea? I just kind of wanted to talk to you about you seen those videos online where like there's like the guy that dresses up as like all these different cultures and then goes to like a parade celebrating that culture, and then like everybody who actually celebrates that culture doesn't get mad at all, and then like a bunch of white people get like so pissed at them for that, saying it's cultural appropriation. I was like, I don't know what the guy's name is. I think he was also on Dr. Phil for this or something. He was he was talking about like how he made a video where he dressed up in like stereotypical Mexican clothing. Like he had like a Mexican poncho, a sombrero. He had like a little mustache, and he
Oh,
went.
that's badass.
Yeah, it was fucking cool. And then he went up to like all these white people were like, yeah, no, this is cultural appropriation. It's actually really offensive to the Mexican community because you don't actually know what it's like to be a Mexican and go through the day to day life of being a Mexican. And then like every
It's like
Mexican was
neither do
like,
you.
"That's so cool," they say. Like,
Yeah, but like the most like Hispanics are actually really chill about us like experiencing their culture because it's like yes, please, like celebrate our culture because like we have such a dynamic one that we want people to learn about, which is why like the most time like the time I was paying attention in Spanish the most was learning about like Dia de los Muertos, so like other things that they celebrate during like these times because it's like it's so cool to like see that like hey man, I never knew about this. Like as a child, I was just like, "Ooh, Halloween, cool treats." I never really thought like, "Hey, this is like a time to like be celebrating all my lost relatives who like need to be remembered and like all of that, and they can really come back home to us and see how we're doing." It's like a good little reunion, and so that felt more like fascinating than everything. And one thing that I've been checking up on, and I got really curious about was the term Latinx. I was
what's that?
so like
I've actually never heard of that.
lat so Latinx is a term made for like I think the I don't know exactly what it is, but like apparently it's a very like controversial term used for like it's the neutral word for like Hispanic people. And I think it was meant as an integration for like all those people who identify as like non-binary or something like that. It's the term that they can go by, but a lot of people don't agree with it, and a lot of people agree with it. So that's why it's like so controversial
I mean,
of a
that's like
term.
kind
Because
of the
like
definition of controversy is just something where a lot of people agree with both sides.
exactly, and so it's and like the Hispanic like cultural club at my school is called the Latinx Leadership Club, and so I got really confused because I was like, oh wait, I remember hearing that this was kind of like a offensive term to be used, and a lot of Hispanics didn't like that, so I'm confused on why they allowed this, and then I looked it up, and a lot of people actually agree with this, so I don't really have a side to take on it because I'm not really that educated on this, but
Also, I'm not sure if
what
you could tell, but Nick is actually not Hispanic.
I am not Hispanic. I don't think you could tell by my accent or the fact that I said I'm Scottish, but I am not Hispanic.
Yeah.
So like that was something that really fascinated me to educate myself on. So I never really took a side, and I don't really know who's what side is more weighted, but like I'm like really interested on this like topic, and I want to see how it develops in the community and if it actually gets integrated into the language or if it stays just something that some people use and some don't. Like I'm really like excited to see like what happens with that.
How did we get here? I thought we were supposed to talk about the economy. What
Well,
happened,
like
dude?
we went to like we went from like the economy to moving somewhere else and talking about the unique cultures and stuff like that. I'm rolling with it. I'm rolling with it.
I need to do more research on this cost of living thing. Uh, it's actually interesting. It's not that much different in Japan. It's like it's only different by like $100 without rent. Like without rent, a family of four in Washington is like 3,036, and in Japan it's 2,936. So it's actually not that much different. I mean, it is a little better, but you also don't know what exactly that money is worth in Japan, so it could potentially be worse. I'm actually not sure.
But like also, um,
Oh, here's some article. It says the average cost of living in Japan is 46% less expensive than the average cost of living in the States. And it's still ranking as the 44th most expensive country in the world, while the USA is the fifth. And I'm honestly really, really mad. I don't know too much about politics or anything, but I do remember it was something about Biden shutting off the oil rigs in Russia because we were fighting this war in Ukraine that we actually had no business fighting. We fought it for absolutely zero reason, and I think we still are funding so much money into it for no reason.
Just a lot of the presidents nowadays are not good because like
Hmm.
both, I'm not gonna take a side. Yeah, no, just a lot of like the idea of a democracy in America just like overall failed. So
Yeah.
because like we have such like really strict policies on like who can run, which doesn't technically make it a democracy. And also we like, I don't really like the idea of the fact that like the president isn't like, he's just a tiny little like speck, but we make it such a big thing. Like we also have like Congress, and we have like the House, the Senate, we have like all of these different like things that like pass the laws, and then we have the state house and Senate, and then like we have so many different political things that overall decide how our country is run. And if one side makes a bad decision, then it can be overrun. It just like the chances of it are of like it's an entire web of just lawmaking and country running that like if one side makes a bad decision, it's ruined. And like the chances of it actually being like fixed in like a timely manner is pretty slim.
Yeah. I don't know. Every freaking president's had their fair share of problems. I was just really mad about like the whole thing that happened like when we shut off the oil in Russia, which was like a really big exporter for us, and then of course that was causal to the gas prices going up. Womp
Yeah,
fucking womp. Now our economy is getting worse than it already is, and it seems like Biden doesn't know what he's doing, but is also kind of like destroying the middle class. And you're separating people into two categories: poor and rich. There's just no middle ground anymore. I mean, there is, but it's seemingly slim, and he's
it's
trying to get rid of it entirely.
yeah, good. The elections are coming up soon, so that's
Yay!
good.
Re-elect Trump 2024.
Okay, pal, we're not getting
Controversial
political here.
opinion. If it ends up really just being another battle between Trump and Biden, I'm personally gonna say Trump on this one. This
Yeah,
country was genuine. This is so controversial to say, but this country was better when Trump was president and
yeah,
not when Biden was president. I'm just
it
saying.
was still bad. Like both presidents,
Both
horrible
presidents
people.
suck. I mean,
They're but like
Trump's
one
not
just,
a good person seemingly, but he's not a bad president.
yeah, he knows how to run a decent country. Like I wouldn't say he's the best, like praise him, but like at least he has semi common sense. Well, Biden has like, he's just an old man. He's like a senior citizen. It's like it brings up the controversial opinion of like, should like ancient fossils be allowed to run the Senate? And
Ancient fossils is crazy.
yeah, like we have like genuine like 80-year-olds in the Senate making decisions that could affect, making the decisions that do affect the whole country. And I personally don't like that idea that like some grandpa with old values or like different values, because like he was alive when the dinosaurs weren't around, like he just is there. And like a lot of old people are in the Senate, and not a lot of like newer generation people are running for that. So it makes it hard to kind of like believe in our country to be able to fix it, because at this point we're just too far gone. And the one thing that the US doesn't have, uh that a lot of countries actually have, and it's a pretty like good idea that like we just haven't been able to comprehend, is universal healthcare. Like
Mm.
getting some, when someone says call an ambulance, that's a threat. Like, and it shouldn't be that like when you have to go to the hospital for your broken arm and your child's head is like somehow did a 360
Fucking
u-turn,
discombobulated.
like your child's arm like flew across a football field and someone says call an ambulance, you're like no. And it like genuinely, and like you've seen videos of people trying to run away from the ambulance because like they don't want to go.
Yeah, it's just the expensivity. Is that a word? Expensivity?
Well, the
Not sure.
expensive, like the prices of it, and most insurances won't cover all of it, so you're just gonna be driven into debt. Like my grandma recently went to the hospital, and just like the helicopter ride was like a few $100,000, and like overall, I think it came up to like a mil or
Okay,
two.
a lot of times they also charge you for things that you shouldn't be charged for. So a lot of times you should actually ask like, what are all these things you're charging me for? And be like, and then you can call them out on their BS. Like, oh well, I know that doesn't cost that much, and that wasn't actually something that we did. So like a lot of times they just kind of try to charge you extra. I'm not sure exactly why they hate us, but and
Well,
I mean, I could
because
be wrong. I've never actually like been to the hospital for anything. I've never had to pay for anything in the hospital. So I could be completely wrong. That's just kind of what I heard, going off of what I heard. But
mhm.
it's yeah, it's seemingly
But
fucked up, and I really hate how all these areas in this freaking planet, it's so freaking stupid, man. I don't freaking understand it.
yeah, another place that I think is a possible living space. I'm willing to deal with all the critters and stuff, man. Australia, like Australia, sounds so nice.
Mm. I would be terrified
But like,
of the
think about it.
people and the animals.
But think about it though. It's like it would be chill. Like the only thing, bad Wi-Fi, bad critters. Boom. Like that's really it. And then other than that, you're really like chill. You're chilling.
Hmm. I don't know what to talk about anymore.
Should we end it off here?
It's only been 24 minutes. Eh.
I think that's a good place to end it off, personally.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode of Infinitude. We'll try to come back you with another one in about 4 days from now. But like I said, thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you guys next time. Deuces.
Deuces.